The things that were amazing about Cordwainers were the making classes, where you actually got to make something. We used to just zone out during every class in between, and then just be full of passion when it time for clicking and stitching, and I can't remember what the words were anymore. I only know a few words in Italian now, but all those making classes were just the amazing things where you got to do things. It was 3 divisions then, I don't know if it is now, but it was saddlery, leather goods, and footwear. Footwear, for some reason, zeitgeist, something in the air. Me from Canada, Emma Hope from London, Elizabeth Stewart Smith, Christina Arns from Germany. There are people who just came for some reason from all over the world at that exact year, and went to the college. We were called I think the Cordwainer 7 or something. I was actually younger than them because they all did the 3rd year. Footwear is very much a one-man band. If you go to a fashion designer, they tend to have a studio with 20 assistants, because as long as you have sewing machines, fabric and thread, you can make clothes. Shoes aren't really like that. Shoes are much more insular. I never really had a big design team, and you can't really make shoes on your own. I mean, you can, but they're very cobbled together. You need to be in Italy or in Spain or somewhere where there's an industry, and you need to have a last factory and a sole factory and a heel factory, and it's a concentration of industry together that makes a shoe. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, Western Canada. My family's very academic. My life was sort of planned out in front of me in academia, being a doctor or a vet, because I love animals. I moved to Toronto when I was 17. I was going to take a year out, kind of like a gap year, even though it doesn't exist in Canada, and then go to university. It was the time of the New Romantics. It was the time of the second British invasion, it was called, in North America. So it was Culture Club, Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, Eurythmics. Everything was British. Everything was these people just dressing up to the nth degree, and I wanted part of that. I came to London May 1983 to find the college, made some good friends, met some of the people at Vivienne Westwood, met some other people on the King's Road when the King's Road was super trendy back in the day. I walked in at a time when it was 6 weeks before the fashion show in Paris, and no one had thought of doing the shoes. And David said to Vivienne, "Oh, my flatmate's a shoe designer," and I was in my first year of school at Cordwainer, so it was like I didn't know anything. So I went in, I met her, who was my idol, we had a few talks. She said she wanted something that looked like that. I said, "How about like this, like this, like this?" She said, "Okay, go do it." So I ended up finding cobblers in London, Greek shoe repair guys that had made shoes for her before in the past, getting the shoes made, paying my own way to Paris with bags of shoes, delivering them to the backstage at the show. I ended up modeling in the show, and then ended up working with Vivienne for about 6 months. In the store. We had no electricity because she had no money, so we could walk around with candles next to the people as they tried to buy. We could only take cash because we had no phone lines. It was amazing. You know, you can't have an apprenticeship like that. I think it's impossible to teach design. I think you can teach the tools to help you realize your design and the skills around that, but I don't think you can teach design. It's either you have it or you don't have it. It's an innate capability. Pay attention to all aspects. Don't just think it's art all day long. I'm doing a line called Geox Design by Patrick Cox, which I've been doing for about a year now, and then they're so happy with what I've been doing. Since this September, they've made me creative director of the men's division, which you won't see the results of that till autumn-winter 2013. I still think today, even at Geox, I still think I learn something every day. To me, footwear's a craft. It's not theoretical. It's very real. I'm not part of the fashion intelligentsia. It's a craft. It's a way to stitch 2 pieces of leather together, a way to make something out of that. So to me, being in the factory is the most important thing, learning every day. Every day I'm in Italy and learning in the factory. It's a world-class college. You know, kids that go in there come into my store or come into my office, and you know, they're amazing. They're designers now. There's been a whole explosion in footwear creativity, starting from Manolo, who obviously, you know, seeded it, to, you know, Sex and the City fanning it, to myself and Jimmy Choo and other people who went to the school, making it, taking it to the next level, and now, you know, they're absolute consummate professionals.